How did I prepare for Harvard, medical, and IB at the same time? It's a difficult question to answer because it is hard. To be very honest, I think if I studied 13 to 14 hours per day, almost 10 or 11 went to medical, if that makes sense, and the rest was going to IBA or the SAT preparation and application preparation. But I can say how you get started. So the way you get started, in my opinion, is to sit down when you graduate from an institution, sit down and make a list of your final end goals. So my final end goal was, okay, I have to apply to XYZ institutions when it comes to US applications. I have to get into Dhaka University's IBA, and I have to get into a good medical college, not too far away from Dhaka, at least. So I wrote those goals down, right? And then after writing them down, under each category, you write what are the kind of requirements you have in order to get into those institutions. So let's do exercise here, right? So if you have medical, you might know that medical institutions have your SSC and HSC results, and they amount to like 100 points, at least back in my time that was the case. And then you have 100 points for a mixture of biology, chemistry, physics, general knowledge, and English, if I remember correctly, right? So among all these topics, I'm pretty sure coaching centers, the one I went to was Unmesh. That was one of the few coaching centers that provided coaching for students coming from an English version or English medium background. So I knew that if I got admitted to Unmesh, they will break down the syllabus in a span of 3 to 4 months for me, and then I can just tackle the syllabus in the way they broke it down. Now that I look back, I think giving the medical admission exams in English is a wrong decision. At least that's what I felt it. The final question paper that I had faced had a lot of mistakes in the English questionnaire, and that's why I lost a 4 to 5 points in that, which I should not have if I appeared the exam in Bengali. So that is one note about that. So you have the medical preparation covered by Unmesh. Let's move on to the IBA preparation. Yes, Tanjim, I did study with my music on, if you were wondering. But when it comes to IBA, there were a lot of parts. One is the math section, one is the English vocabulary section, another is English reasoning in general, another is analytical. And I realized that, okay, if I get admitted into mentors, I will be able to use their breakdown of how to approach the exams in the correct way to apply to this, to IBA. So that would be enough as well. And now there are a lot of institutions like mentors, like Patronus Education, which is doing very well and have been founded by a few of my talented friends at IBA. So you have that, right? And finally comes to US application. What do you need? You need your transcripts from 9 to 12. You need your SSC and HSC results. You don't really need them, but if you have them, you have to show them. And then you have to send an English proficiency exam. It can be IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo, or some waiver saying that, okay, you're good at English. You don't need to take those exams. You have to take the SAT. You have to take the SAT subject tests. Like I said, you don't need any of them. Those are not compulsory requirements, at least as of now. But when I was applying, I kind of thought that, okay, if I have time, I should apply to these institutions and use these exams. And then you have a list of extracurricular activities. You have essays and recommendation letters. So I wrote all of that down, right, in 3 columns separately back in June. And I realized it was so overwhelming. Like, there is no way I can tackle all of it at once. And I think that is one mistake that students do. They try to tackle all of it at once. So I thought, okay, let's break it down, right? How would tackling it at small parts look like? So I realized that, okay, I will give my SAT and medical admissions in October. I will appear for my IBA exam in November. I will appear for my subject tests in December, right? So from now to October, I will kind of prepare for all of it simultaneously. However, I'll focus a bit less on IBA and subject tests. I'll focus more on SAT and medical. After I'm done with medical and SAT in October, I have 1 month to really go in for the IBA. So that's the time when I will dive in, finish all the model tests and whatnot. After I finish the IBA exam, I will start and do what it takes to finish my subject tests in that 1 month, right? So I really broke it down and I kind of treated them as individual components, and I didn't approach the other with as seriousness because that wasn't urgent at the moment. So I divided into how urgent each category is. And since I was admitted into mentors with a discount that you can get from a mentor's teacher, if you know a mentor's teacher, they can give you like, I don't know, 33% discount or something. And then you have Unmesh. So I tried to do those coaching regularly. And one day I would study medical and the next day I would study for the SAT and try to write a bit of my essay and try to do the homework I got at mentors. So every day that was the routine. I went to coaching in Unmesh. I tried to make a schedule so that I did the Unmesh coaching and the mentors coaching on the same day. And then when I came back, I studied for medical the one day. The next day I would study for the homework in mentors, and I would try to do some SAT practice from Khan Academy. And that routine kind of continued for a few months. And after I got in, like after I was done with my SAT and medical, I had some time to really start brushing up my essays and submitting the things that you need for college applications, right? So I think that really key advice is to, number one, write down your goals and the requirements you think in each. Number two, break them down into separate modules that you can tackle one by one rather than tackling them all at once. And number three, stay true to your routine and keep on tackling them one by one and hope that it works out. One thing to note that a lot of people will be like, oh, that is a crazy routine. I did keep my Fridays free, sort of to, watch YouTube, meet up with my friends, take a break, reflect on how the week went and how I can improve and whatnot. And that was very crucial. A lot of people kind of burn out in the process because it's a grueling 6 months, at least for students in Bangladesh. When you'll be graduating from cadet college and you're going into those institutions who have such high competition, it's hard. So you have to really work hard for 6 months. So it's important to not burn out and take some time out of the week to focus on reflection, to focus on taking rest and meeting up with friends and whatnot.